We are back after another padded practice at Broncos training camp, and today no Hall of Famer and Steve Atwater, but we do have the venerable Parker Gabriel from the Denver Post.
It's very nice of you, Aric.
You that adjective work for you?
I think it's appropriate.
You think it's appropriate? I think it's fitting. Parker, we just got out there. It was toasty again, a longer practice, like 4 different team periods today, and really the standout in I think our eyes and head coach Sean Payton's eyes was Josh Reynolds. He was all over the place, made some leaping grabs. He's been impressive so far, right?
Yeah, definitely. And today was the day where you saw sort of just like a reel, as you said, Aric, of catches, made a couple of big plays on the sideline over the middle, just kind of did several different things. But he's also a guy who is going to be counted on in this offense, and that's been pretty clear since he was signed as a free agent this spring. And so it was sort of like the eye-catching day, but maybe overall just another day in a string of productive ones for Josh Reynolds.
Yeah, absolutely. He's made a lot of plays just kind of in general, like you said. And what's impressed me is they've been outside, they've been in the middle of the field, they've kind of been all over the place. And like you said, he is going to be a key part of this offense. Came over from Detroit where he was the number 3 essentially, but maybe a bigger role in Denver.
Yeah, I think that's definitely possible. And then the thing about Josh Reynolds, too, is one of the things that maybe you don't see if you're just watching certainly 7-on-7, even sort of like snap to snap, your eyes are following the ball and team and all that. But he's a guy who is a more than willing blocker, too. And so among the things that he's going to be asked to do in this offense is to be a big part of the run game. And I had a conversation with him in OTAs earlier this summer. He loves it. I mean, he wants to go dig out safeties. He wants to be physical, and he wants to ensure that everybody else or, the other guys in the receiver room sort of like follow in that suit. And so he's going to make plays. He probably will have a bigger role. And I think he'll have something of a leadership role in that room too, just in terms of sort of setting the tone of what it means to play receiver.
Yeah, definitely. We've heard Sean Payton talk about how much he loves football. His best catch of the day was this sideline throw from Zach Wilson late in practice where he just went up and mossed the corner there, Levi Wallace, who was guarding him. It was a good throw, a better catch, and not much you can do as the defender there. Like I said, that's probably Zach Wilson's best throw of the day. He had a nice one to Michael Bandy earlier. Jared Stidham had a couple of nice completions, but Parker, the story of the day, and in some ways, was Bo Nix took first-team reps, and Sean Payton said that he thought it went well. He would need to watch the film, but that he likes his progress. As you watch Bo out there with the first-team offense, what'd you think?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I thought it was his best day too. Obviously, my opinion counts for far less than other people, but yeah, no, he was solid. And I think the thing that you're looking for with any of the quarterbacks, and especially for Bo Nix because it's his first NFL camp, is the comfort level, just like the operational stuff, right? In and out of the huddle, snap count. After some issues the other day, much cleaner today, but also the longer we get into camp and the more that's installed and sort of the wider the menu and all that, the more you see the ball start to go down the field a little bit more. It's not a laser show all the time necessarily. That's not reality in the NFL, but he has pushed the ball down the field more aggressively, did that today. And so it's just sort of like step by step, right? You're just looking for checks, to check off boxes. And this was a good step, I think, for Bo Nix today.
Yeah, he had a great throw down the field to Marvin Mims. Didn't end up being complete, but it was right on target. Had one to Josh Reynolds right above Jaquan McMillan's outstretched arm that Reynolds came down with. And I also thought got rid of the ball quickly when there wasn't anything there, which was a good sign of knowing when not to make the mistake. And he's talked about that of, hey, you've got to also find find a way to make a profit and not make that error there. So a good day for Bo Nix. That was exciting to see. And I'm sure we'll hear more from Sean Payton about it after he gets to watch the film. Parker, another guy who maybe doesn't flash every day, but certainly we have seen play a big role for this defense. DJ Jones maybe stole the show on the podium with his line about when you enter year 8, you've got to either adjust your body and the things that you're doing to take care of yourself. If you don't, you're lying or you're a kicker.
Yeah, it was awesome.
Great line. DJ Jones, how much do you think he benefits from some of the guys that they brought in here, whether it's John Franklin Myers, Malcolm Roach, just some of those guys up front that can help him and maybe take some of the load off of him?
Yeah, I think he and Zach Allen benefit more than anybody else on the roster from those additions, just because, at times last year it was easy to double team. They're trying to move him around, plan on a position. And now just with the group they have, they can play guys where they're best suited and do so more often. And so you see it with DJ Jones. I mean, the defensive line's has played really well so far. Obviously, it's really early. It's 3 days in pads. But so far, you've seen and heard a defensive front that knows that they weren't good enough against the run last year and that is committed to being better against the run this fall. And obviously, like, it's one thing on July 31st, it's another thing in September, October, but the early returns, I think, from that group have been, I would say, among the bigger stories in camp, and DJ Jones has been at the forefront of that. He can be a disruptive player, and regardless of whether he plays just as many snaps, a few less, deeper rotation, whatever it is, like, the more talent you have up front, the more the strengths of each guy's game are highlighted. And I think they're on a track to where, you know, they at least have a chance to do some of that this year where maybe it wasn't the case as much last year.
Yeah, I think the depth at that position has improved as much as anywhere on the entire roster. And DJ Jones said going to be a lot more attacking style, both because it's year 2 and just stylistically. I think they found that's what they need. And he joked that Alex Singleton is not going to have 180 tackles this year because they're not going to let the ball get to him.
Yeah, he is excited. I mean, that's for sure. Alex walked past and he said he won't need to have as many tackles this year because they'll get some. And Jamar Cain, you know, moving to the defensive line coach, I think in the offseason has sort of spurred on, you know, wanting to play more aggressively. And the players, you can tell, I mean, they really like that. What player wouldn't, you know? It's
right,
like,
absolutely.
Oh, we can get up the field and play more attacking? That sounds good.
Yeah, and he's pretty good in space. He had that play against Cleveland last year where he was able to get the ball off the botched reverse, and he can make some plays for a big guy. But Parker, we obviously are thinking too of Quinn Bailey, tough injury there. Sean Payton said fractured his ankle is what it looks like, and we'll have more updates to come. But obviously a tough moment there. Guys took some time to reset, but otherwise a highly productive day at training camp. Happy to be joined by the Denver Post Parker Gabriel. I'm Aric DiLalla.